All right, my camera's not on. 1 second, let me get it on. I have got to. Okay, there I am. Just took me a minute. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Left Undone Incomplete Investigations. I'm Catherine. Hello, everybody. Good to see you. Hi there, Doug. No Thanks Investigations is here. And Loose Can, nice to see you. If you are new to my channel, I run my live streams pretty interactively. We sort of just talk about everything that's been going on, what I want to talk about, what you want to talk about. And hello, Tracy. And Gail, welcome. Good. Everybody's rolling in. Awesome. And so we just kind of run it like that. It's not super structured. It's more of an time for me to interact with you guys, see what you guys think, what your questions are, what you've heard. If you've heard of any cases, this is usually how I get them. Oh, Heather, welcome back. It's great to be back. I lost my brother in November from cardiac arrest. 38 years old. That is so young. I am so sorry. I can't imagine. I'm sure you haven't been yourself. That's tough. Grieving and losing somebody is just the worst. I'm so sorry. Cardiac arrest. That's horrible. Obviously very sudden and unexpected. Sorry. But I'm glad you're here. Maybe you can get your mind off things a little bit, Heather. So welcome back. I don't know what that's about. I'm already missing something. Okay, let me scroll up a little bit. So it is March 6th, right? March 6th, 2021. How is everybody doing? Hi, Charlie girl. I'll just go back for a minute and just tell you that I did get my second Moderna vaccination on Sunday. I did a little thing about it, live stream thing. If this needs to hold on a second. I'm trying to figure out what. Is that better? That might be better. I don't know. I can't tell. So I got my second Moderna. Now I feel like there's shadows. I don't know. You tell me if it's better or worse, or if it doesn't even matter. My second Moderna vaccine on Sunday, and Sunday was actually my birthday. And I felt okay. My arm got sore, but by Monday morning, I was dead. I mean, not even kidding you. I had a horrible reaction. I had a headache. I had chills. My whole body ached. My arm was so sore. And it got hives all over it. It's actually still got a little bit of redness to it. And then I don't know if I had a fever. I didn't check it, but I did have chills. I just slept. I literally just slept through the whole thing. And by Tuesday, I was fine. I was able to work. Mild headache. I took some ibuprofen, I think, on Tuesday, but it was more for my arm. And then, and then I'm good. But it did knock me on my butt. Now, I do usually get a sore arm from any vaccine, so that's pretty normal for me. But yeah, I was like, I'm not going to get a vaccine. I was telling one of the nurses at work that he just had a man cold, that it wasn't even nothing, whatever. But clearly that came back to bite me in the butt. But I'm good now, and I feel good. And it's an expected reaction that some people get. When she went to give me the vaccine, she said, you may get flu-like symptoms. Well, I felt like I had the flu for one day. I was nauseous. And that one I haven't heard from other people, but I'm a pretty sensitive system, so that might be why. So look, I'm seeing a lot of people here that haven't been around for a little while. Good to see you guys. Yeah, and the second dose is actually, so the way it's explained, and there's some really good information out there. The way it's explained is they give you that first dose. So now your immune system is like, okay, this is the enemy. We know this now. We've been informed, right? So then you go and get the second dose, and your body, I love it because it's science, man. I love science. I think science is so freaking fascinating. So then you go and get the second vaccine, right? And your body goes, they're here, release the army. And it tunes everything up and it goes into fight mode. And your body goes like, boom, just blasts out, turns up the heat, turns up everything. And your body, understands that this is the enemy. And then you're badass because now your immune system is like, we know this thing. And guess what? COVID vaccine is never going to kill me or COVID or the vaccine. The vaccine hasn't killed anybody. It's found to be like 95 or something % effective. Even after the first dose, it's found to be like 85% effective, which is more effective than the flu vaccine. My kid's pediatrician told my daughter, go see your family if they've gotten vaccinated and be normal. This is showing such great results. So now I get to see my grandkids. I just booked a trip to Hawaii. And I am so happy to go back to normal. I will still wear my mask out in public out of respect, obviously, because people don't know who has the vaccine and who doesn't. And so I'm good. I got my vaccine. I got dose 2. I suffered through. It wasn't a walk in the park by any means. I've also heard that the shingles vaccine can be pretty gnarly for the second dose. So that's my vaccine story. And no one's died. It has been proven really safe. And people that are skeptical, just wait longer. My son-in-law, he is 27. He got the vaccine because he's in charge of a bunch of high school children. And so he was able to get vaccine number 1. So there are criteria if you take care of children that you can get it. And so I think we need the herd immunity. We need life to get back to normal. Masks may just wind up being a thing like they are in China, Asia. So anyway, that's my update on my vaccine story, because I told you guys I would inform you on how it went on. I mean, we've all been together. People that have been on my channel, we've all been together since the beginning of COVID. My channel started in December of 2020 or 2019, and COVID showed up, late February, March last year. And I was one of the first people to go, oh my gosh, the sky isn't falling, whatever. This is stupid. People are trying to scare you. And then all of a sudden I was like, ooh, hold on. You know what? This is a real thing. So I'm more than happy to share my journey on COVID with you. I got sick a couple times while I was, and I thought maybe I had COVID. I don't know. I was never tested, but now I'm vaccinated. And being in healthcare, I think it's important. I'll take one for the team for sure for that. Who knows when I ever have to go back and work on the, on a unit or on a floor. So, I know, Emma Lou, that's probably a hairstylist. I mean, I did hear recently that by the end of May, there should be enough vaccine for every age group. So hopefully everybody will be getting it within the next couple months that want it. Let's see. Okay. What is this? Connie, breaking news at Left Undone. See Nadine's news. Who's Nadine and where's her news? Nadine. Oh, okay. What's going on? What's going on, Nadine? I'm trying to let you know. What are you letting me know? Go look at the link I sent. You sent a link. Okay. Here's what she said. I'm sorry. I'm done. I have to go watch the live right now for the police here in Bakerfield are online right now. They are searching for the boys. There's about 50 officers right now. Okay. So, okay, bye. But what, what's happening? Anybody know what she's talking about? You can't find one? Okay. Well, well, if anybody finds anything, let me know. We are going to just continue our live as is. I'm not going to scramble to look all over the internet, but if anybody out there does find it, let's just go ahead and let me know in the chat when it happens. Okay, well, 6 minutes ago. Okay. But what exactly? So police are looking somewhere in Bakersfield for the kids and the news is there. So as you guys know, I titled the thumbnail on this as rumor. And yesterday there was a bunch of misinformation, right? Sensible crime, you got it. Bunch of misinformation yesterday. Yesterday was a shit show as far as like the Wests have been arrested. The police came and took Wanda West away. They took bags out of their house. None of it was true. It wasn't true. Nobody was arrested. So I don't necessarily understand what went on with that and how that happened, but you realize how fast rumors they fly, right? And I have a lot of people that don't like my channel now. All of a sudden, people came out of the woodwork and don't like my channel because I follow the missing Orrin and Orson West case. There is a narrative, and there is a group of people that are extremely they are trying to silence anybody that doesn't agree with the narrative that Jacqueline and Trezell West absolutely 100% hurt their children. And I don't do that. I just don't, and I won't. And so there's people, and they're here, and they've been in my comments, and they've been in my chat, and they've given me a headache, basically. And a lot of them can be connected to people that have boots on the ground and are trying to narrate this whole thing. Okay. Now let's see. Criminality exposed. The Bakersfield Police Department confirms multiple agencies are searching the area of East Pacho and Cottonwood Roads as part of the investigation of the disappearance of Orrin and Orson West. Okay. Let me know if they find anything. We can look at that. I can pull that map up maybe so we can see where it's at. East Peach. Okay, let me put up Google Maps here. Google Maps. And remember how many tips okay, the police department also goes on wild goose chases because there's a narrative out there of all kinds of people that are giving tips. So I mean, it's good. They should follow any credible tip, but we also know there's been a lot of seemingly credible tips that have turned into a whole lot of nothing. Wild goose chases. So it's pretty sad that people mess with the law enforcement. So let's just hope this isn't the same kind of thing. But then, okay, so let's see. Bakersfield, California. And let's go. Let's see, we said East P-A-C-H-E P-A-C-H-E-C-O and Cottonwood. Is it Boulevard? East Patriot, okay, Road, Bakersfield. And then let's put in Cottonwood. Is it Cottonwood Avenue? Who lives around there? Cottonwood Road, okay. All right, let me share my screen so you guys can see where this is at. Okay, so this is where you're talking about. It's an open field area, Bakersfield Sports Arena. So it's definitely open area. California Packing Associates. Nothing live you can find. Lisa, thank you. This is the area they're talking about. Packing supply store is there, which may or may not have anything to do with it, but this is where they're saying. This is the area they're saying, right, guys? Googled on and YouTube, nothing. Okay. It's on their Facebook doing a search. Who's on whose Facebook? Yeah, whose Facebook? It's only being broadcasted on KEG TV, Facebook Live. This is across the street from the Casa Loma Apartments. What worries me is if somebody's had those kids this whole time and this has gotten into such a big fat shit show that they may have gotten to the point where they got scared and they dumped them and killed them. So that's what really worries me about the fact that it's gone into such a war. Not live. It's now a posted story. Okay, so let me see. Kate. I don't know where the Casa Loma Apartments are, but it must be close in this area. All right, well, let me know if you guys find anything. Judy Ron said he's having an update in 3 minutes. Okay, good, cool. Let me see if I go on K. You sent me the link? Okay, let me pull up my Facebook here. So we know where that is then. And why does stuff always have to happen when I'm on my live? I mean, I guess it's good, but you can still watch it. Okay, here's the link. Thank you, April. Okay, hold on. Let me share my screen again. I don't know if my internal, I need somebody that has some IT knowledge. I don't know if I can make this loud enough, or I don't know how to switch to the internal mic, but let me get you. Let me share my screen again. I don't hear any sound. The sound's on. So there's definitely something going on, huh? They're out in that field. I know that I don't have any sound. Is there sound when you guys watched it? Or is that me? I mean, it's just a guy standing here with the bun. There are a bunch of people over there searching, so he must have got some kind of a tip. Okay, thank you, April. It's saying it's live right now still. Well, this should be interesting. Well, that means they're looking for a body, right? I mean, if they're looking in a field like that, or they're looking for clues. That's the investigator in charge, this guy right here. Okay, no sound. Good. Okay, good to know. We need Jason from Idaho with his helicopter. Nate in his helicopter. Aussie says $10 says it's another false lead. We've had many, haven't we? No sound, but Perla did have a short speech just saying that they were out there searching, and it was related to the boys. So all you guys, I want you also, that if you have watched my first video or my most recent video that's up about the West's house, the day they disappeared, the measurements where there's a child measurement and an adult measurement and all that stuff. No thanks investigation has a follow-up to that up, and go over to his channel so you can see it. It's based on the 19th, and he is posted that, and it shows some information on the 19th. And I believe that there will be some more added to that, where you actually can see them come home with one of the littles, for sure, one of the littles on that day. Doug, you've droned Cottonwood. You're 2.5 hours away. You've droned this area right here that they're at. There's been, Dick Tracy, there's been a lot of crazy, ridiculous leads and so many rumors. I mean, I heard that one of the other channels, LV United, they had their devices seized. I've heard yesterday that Wanda West was taken in by Bakersfield Police Department, turned out to be false. I've heard that, all kinds of stuff. So yes, exactly, Chris. This whole deal has been dysfunction junction, major dysfunction. And oh my gosh, now that there's YouTubers that have lawsuits against each other now, and defamation lawsuits, and sharing and doxing each other and putting up people's email address. It's ridiculous. And I don't know why I keep saying, I don't know why I have a true crime channel, because it gets so mean. I mean, imagine if everybody just worked together. Imagine if all the channels came together and said, we don't know what happened, but we want to kindly interview people, have people on, talk to people, explore the area, people that are close by, go search. Oh, instead of the ones going, oh, we're boots on the ground, where are you? Well, I don't freaking live there. I'm not going to come there. I have a job to do. I'm sorry, but I'm willing to spread the word. Yes, exactly. D, they did. They put your email up, which is uncool in any way, shape, or form. People that law enforcement asks for tips. So somebody sends a tip to somebody that's connected to the city or to law enforcement. And then that person goes behind other people's backs and shares it with people that are related to the bio family, that are friends with them. And it's just a shit show. That's all I'm going to say. It's actually just really disappointing. I'm disappointed in, and then making this about them. I mean, Doug's actually boots on the ground, and he goes there with his drone and he actually looks and he does stuff. He's made some really good videos. Yesterday, was it, Doug? Oh, you showed that little cubby that we were talking about in the back, and the cubby meant like where somebody could actually hide. He showed that junk house fence, like it actually has a hole in that fence. That's the kind of boots on the ground we need. People going out in front of the house, where are the boys? Where are the boys? Let me make a poster and put pretty sparkles on it of another YouTuber. You know, those people are just absolutely need to just shut up. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox on that now. But what the hell is that going to do? Breaking the family's windows. You know, if this family is innocent, you've ruined their lives. You've ruined their family. You've ruined their brand new home. If they're innocent, right? If they're not innocent, why do you have to be so crazy? Why do you have to break windows? Where are the boys? Like, anyway, so right, but that's not the point, right? Of having a YouTube channel isn't to one up another YouTube channel. Like, I don't understand it. There's billions of people that watch YouTube. Some people like my channel, some people don't. I don't care if they don't, they'll go watch somebody's channel. They do. Like, it's not a big damn competition. I mean, I guess it is. I don't know. I just don't work that way. I guess I'm competitive in some respects, but over this, I don't know. Which history? Money and views. They're dishonest. They're keeping the boy's story alive, though. That's true. If we want to look at the positive in it, keeping the boy story alive, and nobody has to donate to anybody. Yeah, I wonder whose tip this is. Good question. It'll be interesting to know. Hopefully the news will have a little more. I mean, it must be pretty legit, right? Bakersfield, once they took on this, they seem to be really, really on it. You know, we're seeing a lot more action, a lot more door knocking, a lot more conversations. We're seeing a lot more. Right. Crazy, dishonest, disrespectful when people act that way. Chris, you follow several and we are all friends. Yeah, I mean, you know, honestly, okay, so for example, there's channels that completely feel like the West are guilty, but they're not being mean to other channels. Do you know? That's my whole point. Like, I'm leaning towards them not, but if I'm wrong, I will be totally the first one to be like, I'm freaking wrong. Oh my God, what? I'm wrong. But anyways, my biggest point is these kids need to be found, and that's what matters. And we don't have to be mean to each other to find them. Let's see. Let me get back to the chat here. I'm wrong when I hear gossip. I ask around, but no one would directly tell me either way about the dog's name. I know someone actually emailed with Jamal, who is Trezel's brother. And it wasn't you. It was you, Doug, right? Doug did. Doug, no thanks, emailed Jamal and he asked him, can you just clarify if there is a dog named Chalk, Chaka, Chocolate, anybody in your family have a dog by that name? And Jamal emailed back and told him, absolutely not. There is no dog that resembles that name in any way, shape, or form. So the dog's name is not Chalk. That's been cleared up directly from somebody related to Trezel, his brother. Right? Do I have that one right? I'm looking at this because I have it over here on this screen. So I must have a pretty solid tip, but I don't like it because crime scene tape, you're right. I don't like it because now, to me, if they're looking in a field, they're not looking for children that are alive. And if they do find bodies, which, oh God, if they do find bodies, they'll be able to tell how long they've been deceased as well. Criminality exposed. We have been forced to expose the distraction, drama, and dishonesty because it is distracted from the boy's case. Right. Here's location. Quantum reality remote viewers saw they were buried nearby. West area, Bakersfield, California, 13 miles go west from Casa Loma Apartments. Higman Road, buried in a field right side. I don't understand why the bio mom acted so hysterically after she was given much time to get the boys back before she lost her parental rights and the West adopted them. I agree. I felt like the hysteria was a little bit overkill, which made me get a sense of I'm pretty. I call myself an empath. I can read people pretty well. I get a pretty good sense of who is, kind of truthful, honest. And I also get a sense of people I don't trust really easy. And my sense with her is it was almost like she didn't want to lose her kids. Absolutely. She did not want to lose her kids, but she also didn't have the wherewithal to do the work to get them back. And if she wasn't involved in getting them and they were just abducted or hurt by the West, then, okay, so now that's over. Okay, let me get rid of the stop screen. If she wasn't available, she was kind of, well, what I don't like about her, what I got a sense about her is it was about her, not about the boys. What did I do to deserve this? Me. Anytime people are like me, I take a minute, like, what about the fact that you're freaking out? Look at Gannon Stout's biological mom, like his mommy. Look at how her lip quivered. Look at how she said, Gannon, talked about Gannon. Like her heart was truly broken. She didn't say this happened to me, So that's more the sense where that person brought tears to my eyes when she was up there at the press conference crying. Ryan Dean doesn't do that for me at all. Connie, I'm a sympath. I feel sorry for everyone. You can be a sympath. You're hilarious. Yep, Letitia, me and my husband, and I'm gonna get an apology, and everybody's gonna apologize to me, especially my husband, because his ex-wife, is in my house, and I can't even be in my house. That was like, but me. So, me, Lori Bell, and Letitia, exactly. So I feel like it's not that hard to tell somebody that's genuinely concerned about the child versus somebody that's going, why is this happening to me? And taking no responsibility for their part in something. There is a dot on my screen that keeps going right in my eyeball there. You can't see it, but I can. It's bugging me. Right. It's been about whomever seems to be telling the story of this case. Absolutely. So you guys keep me posted if anything else comes up that you see about that with the search in that field. That's probably like the biggest thing we've seen in this entire case, really, as far as like a real search going on with law enforcement standing there, like lead detective and everybody. So let's see. Nadine, if you go to 9:42 minute mark on channel 17 News Live, Faith Perla does address us. I will check on the 23 news for you guys. I'll also let you know of any update. Thank you, Nadine. Appreciate it. Yeah, and Letitia's gonna represent herself now. Isn't that gonna be an interesting? What sucks for the family? Like, she's literally gonna have to question the witnesses and stuff as an attorney for herself. oh my gosh. I mean, I would be throwing up that morning if I had to be on the witness stand and be like the mom or the dad, like Al, and have Letitia actually not just be in the courtroom, but have to. I mean, goodness gracious. Aussie, are you still in here? Do you want to come on? Aussie Insider has some good information. She's always got like good stuff. I don't know. She makes good comments and she really knows this case inside and out. So I did invite her, if she's in the chat, to come on to the live stream today and talk to you guys too. So you don't just have to listen to me. Oh yeah, there she is. So let me see if I can invite you. Copy over here. And all right. Perfect. I'm sending you the link right now so you can pop in and talk to us. Oh, Letitia is a huge narcissist. Oh my gosh. Yeah, do you think that at some point in that case she's going to change her mind? You think it's a stall tactic? All right, let's see. Colin Ferguson shot up a commuter train, represented himself, and got to re-victimize the survivors. See, that's what I mean. Isn't that horrible? I know it's your constitutional right, but oh my gosh, Letitia Stout doesn't know when to just shut up and just, worry about her own damn self at this point instead of trying to put on a show. Biomom is a strong woman. She will do okay, and the judge will step in if needed. Okay, awesome. All right. Tell me when you're ready. I see you in the background there, Aussie. You good? Okay. I'm going to bring her in, you guys. And you see her in the chat all the time. And here she is. Oh, there you are. Welcome. Oh, cute. I like your, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, I got to turn up my sound a little bit. I think that's my problem here.
Hello.
Okay, I can hear you. Can they hear you? You guys, let me know
if you can hear me.
Yes, put a 1 if you can hear her. I can hear her. I think my audio is a little weird though. It's pretty quiet. But you guys should be able to hear her. They said yes.
Okay, yes. Nice. How are you, Kathy?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Sorry about the filter, but I'm scared.
You're scared. They said the volume's really low. I don't know why.
Oh, my volume?
Yeah, can you turn up a little?
Oh, that's the wrong button. Sound settings, that's what I'm after, isn't it?
Say she's working on her settings.
Is that any better?
I mean, I hear you through my speakers, but I'm loud. Okay, they said I'm loud and the guest is quiet.
Yeah.
But Google Chrome is using your microphone. I'm just trying to see if there's any settings in here.
Just manage things a bit better. Microphone.
Let me see. I'll put it up over here too. They said they're hearing a buzzing whistle. Oh, they said you need to unplug your earbuds. Isn't that what you're using for your microphone though?
No, I'll just unplug it and
Okay, now, talk now. Now we can't hear you. I don't hear anything.
How's that? Are we any better now, or have I?
Much better, yes. Much better.
Okay. So hello, everybody. I'm Aussie Insider.
Welcome. So Aussie Insider clearly doesn't live in the United States. She's in Australia somewhere. And yeah, they're saying it's better. Somewhere in Australia. I live somewhere in California. All right. So tell us what you think.
Well, I think a lot of things. Like, I've been following you and Doug, and I guess the reason that I like your channels is because you're not anti-law enforcement. Like, we can run around and say whatever the heck we want. It's not us that's going to solve this. It's going to be the law enforcement that go in and say, like, here's the kids, and they're the ones who are going to solve it. Like, so that's why I like your channel and anyone who supports law enforcement, because that's who's going to solve it, basically.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense, right? We can talk, we can, maybe somebody will come forward with a tip or something like that, but we're not going to solve it. Exactly. Law enforcement is who we are relying on to solve. You're right. Absolutely. And
I especially like the fact that you go through, the way that law enforcement might be ticking on this subject. Like I've not had a lot of experience with that, but I have studied international law, and I sort of have a fair idea, that they've got a huge amount of technology that we don't have access to. And the videos that you and Doug have been showing is just an example of really basic technology. Like that's just what we have access to. Law enforcement have access to way better technology than any of us have access to. So whatever your source has seen in those videos, law enforcement have seen 10 times more. They've got the original footage, they've got better technology, they know what they're looking at on the screen. When a shadow splits in two, what does that mean? That sort of stuff. They just have way more way higher quality technology than any of us have.
Right. So when I post something that's through, 10 different copies or whatever, and people are like, well, we don't see it. Well, even if we're just seeing a little bit, law enforcement can see a heck of a lot more.
Absolutely. And YouTube's terrible for sharing this sort of content, like, because it uses compression technology. So, you've downloaded somebody else's video that's already got compression technology because it's been uploaded to YouTube, and then you're putting it through your own editor and then putting it back on YouTube through another set of compression. So yeah, it ends up being really bad in the end. But and law enforcement have the original footage, obviously. So
right. And more that we've never seen, probably too, that correlate with it from another neighbor. Supposedly there's another neighbor that has, a Ring doorbell that they were able to get. We never saw that because that guy didn't decide to put it out there for the rest of us to see. So absolutely.
Right. And I was listening to that, is it a Chamber of Commerce meeting that they had the other day? I forget what it was called. I think it was Chamber of Commerce, wasn't it? Or something like I was listening to it on Facebook. And who's that girl? Rogo said that another neighbor has actually seen the littlest one or one of the littlest ones. I can't remember exactly how it went. That the child had got out of the yard, and they had gone and collected the child and took the child back to the parents' house. So it's just a bit strange that she's not talking about that. Like, she's talked about it there, but she's not talking about it anywhere else. Like, nobody's seen the kids, and she can actually clarify that someone has seen the kids, but she's not doing it.
Yeah, I found that interesting too. And I did see that part one of the little ones had gotten out one time and a neighbor brought them home back. So, but it's been shoved under the carpet, but she did mention it there for some reason. She brought it up. So, and Ro is related to the children. Her cousin is bio dad of one of the boys. So she probably does have some information, but she did say that. And she seems to have the most information of anybody. Like, she's been the biggest spokesperson, I would say, from that side of the family. So yeah, it was interesting that was brought up then, but it had never been brought up before, while the narrative has been, no one's ever seen those kids. Those babies never left Bakersfield. They've never been in California City. They've never, so yeah, I agree. Right. That was weird. Yeah.
It was. Absolutely. And I got to give Doug a shout out, because that footage he did the other day on Aspen Avenue was bloody brilliant. Like, we'd already watched, going back several episodes now, that you already had that idea that someone was hiding there, them working out where they were hiding, and then Doug adding that footage of showing where they were hiding and how big that spot is, and the fence as well. The fence was crazy. Like, that was an eye-opener.
Right. Yeah. That fence with that big hole in it right there at that junk house. And that junk house has been on radar from another one of my subscribers has emailed me from the get-go. And she's like, here's my theory. She said somebody was hiding back there and took those kids along that fence and over and out over Proctor, and the getaway car was on Proctor. And now this all kind of comes together that, yeah, that's what makes sense. If this is an abduction, that makes perfect sense.
And it totally explains why the adoptive dad went in the direction that he kept going. Like, he knew those kids didn't walk away. So we've got both the mothers, like the adoptive mother and the bio mum, both saying that those kids were clingy. And I had clingy kids as well when they were 3 and 4. They clung to my legs. They didn't wander off. They didn't go anywhere. They just always there, stuck to my leg. So and both the mothers said that about the children. I think adoptive mum said something along the lines of that they don't go out there in those patches. They don't wander off. And then the bio mum said, like, that they were clingy. They would cry when they had separation anxiety. I think that's what she was describing in nurses' terms. So yeah, I can't see that the kids actually did wander off, and I don't think that the adoptive family even think that the kids wandered off. I think he knew straight away. He already knew they were high-risk children, as you put it, and he knew straight away someone's took him, and he's gone in the direction he thought someone would go. And he's done that twice, and I suspect he even told the police exactly that. Someone's took these kids. When they first rocked up, even in the 911 call, I suspect he said, someone took the kids. I don't believe he said to them, the kids have wandered off, or the kids got out of the yard. I don't believe he said that, just by looking at his search pattern.
Yeah, and I believe that's probably one of the reasons why they didn't release the 911 call, because they could have asked, who do you think might have done this? Maybe he named somebody, maybe he has
Absolutely. And that don't challenge them. They're all out there. Don't challenge them.
No, don't challenge them.
So I suspect that the police did tell them, don't challenge them. One of the things I believe may have been a tender subject, and they knew it was a tender subject, was naming the boys. So if at that interview, if they had said Orrin and Orson, they would have had that whole crowd that we've seen that were at that interview. That whole crowd would have just been up in arms and screaming and yelling about it. And so I think that was too tender a subject, and they avoided it on purpose. I don't think it means
sense. Yeah.
I don't think it means that they are guilty of little Benny. your
He's a sweet
your
talker.
your Discord wife, is it? He is a sweet talker, isn't he? Like I heard him introduce you the other day. I just laughed. I was like, no, buttering up the older girls.
Yeah, right. Oh. Yeah, Benny. I sure the hell am. Love both y'all. Thank you, Benny. You've been super supportive and helpful. Thank you so much.
Love you, Benny. Your insights have been amazing. I watched your little phone call to the neighbour the other day. Like, that guy's a piece of work or what?
I missed that. When was that yesterday? Because you were telling me, or someone was telling me about it, and I was like, wait a minute, I need to go find that, because the neighbor Mike, right?
Right. I didn't post you the link because Benny got a little over the top and what would you say, challenged him a little, and I just didn't think you would appreciate seeing that little part. But he did just basically rung him and confronted him like, you're Mike, right? So it was interesting, but the guy's a piece of work. Like, just looking at the breakdown of those videos, like, you know, he's saying, oh, well, I haven't actually looked at this bit yet, but he takes us right to the spot. Like, there was just so much. There was so much. Whoever your source is, they're onto it. They understood straight away.
Yeah. Benny, he has a potty mouth, he says, but he's working on it. Takes a while. I don't really drop bad words a lot on my channel, but every time I do, people are like, oh, Catherine said an F word. You know, like it's like super unheard of for it to come out of my mouth. So every once in a while,
it's very hard for me to not drop the F-bombs because I don't usually have to watch dropping the F-bombs. Pretty much everyone I know swears on a regular daily. So, but I do, I'm trying very hard to keep that in check. But Benny's here, so if it comes out, it's his fault.
Oh, he's going to buy the plane ticket, Benny. Mike and I are having it. So if you guys don't know, Mike is the neighbor with the CCTV, and he has been kind of on the radar of some people because why did he and Amy, Steve, go right away to get this video like so fast? So, but he's, I don't know. But anyway, so yesterday was kind of a big headache between Mike, the neighbor, and Doug from No Thanks. And, and obviously people, if you didn't see it, are trying to cause a stir with Doug from No Thanks, and even put freaking poster up of him on the West House. I mean, it's so ridiculous. And it's so not about the boys that they would do something like that to distract everybody and cause drama. So, but then apparently Mike, the neighbor, got involved in all this, and it turned into even a bigger, headache, shit show, whatever you want to call it. And so that's why Benny's saying that Mike and I are having a nonprofit boxing match this Wednesday. He's going to donate $10K to the boys. Cool. And he's buying you a plane ticket to California. Bare knuckle only.
Is that like for real, Benny? Like for real, or are you just joking?
I'm assuming he's joking, but maybe not. If this is really going to happen, I will road trip to watch.
Really?
Why not? I want to front row at the ring. If
you road trip to watch, you have to live it for us.
I definitely will. I will road trip and Benny says seriously.
So he's for real. They're gonna meet.
Oh, see, yeah. Connie says, Catherine, when I heard you say I strapped those kids' asses to their seatbelt in one of your videos, I thought Catherine said ass. But I did. Asses. They're little. They go. You're in a car seat in California, at least in California, until you're like freaking 15 years old, practically now. I think it's like 8 and 80 pounds or something like that. It might even be more. I don't know. I don't have little kids, but when I did,
I
it was
think
like 4 and 40, then 6 and 60. And my kids didn't weigh 60 pounds until they were in high school. So,
it's the same in Australia. You have to have them in a car, like a proper kiddie's car seat until I think it's 5, and then a booster seat until 7, something along those lines. Big fine, like $200 or $300 fine. Well, that probably doesn't sound like much to you guys, because I've been looking at your fines and they're in the tens of thousands. So
yeah, no, you get in big trouble. And that's why, even the government will give people car seats that qualify, because they have to have them and they're not cheap and stuff too. So, yeah.
good on you, Dee.
What's that?
I was just saying, good on you, Dee.
Oh, Dee, yeah. We can live it, but I guarantee I'll be thrown down right along with Benny and Doug. Yeah, well, yep. And I'll be in disguise, because nobody likes me, because I'm not, promoting the narrative. So I won't tell you who I am. Can you wear a filter in real life?
Right? Just stick a mask on. I have a clown mask, like a full clown mask with a funny like mouth on it. I would wear that.
Exactly. There you go. Like, who's that? Let's see. Connie said, I know, I need punctuation. I was referring to you saying the word ass, because you never say anything like that. Just kidding around. Oh, yeah, right. Exactly. That's what I mean. Like, when I do drop a swear word, everybody's like, did you hear that? Like, but ask my kids. They've heard it. Especially when they were teenagers. You shouldn't talk to us like that.
I got some questions for you.
Okay.
Let's do some chat things first.
Sounds good. Go for it.
Okay, so I want you to fill me in on this QAnon Pizzagate stuff. Like in
You want me to fill you in on that?
Yeah, like so in Australia, it's just as much a left thing as it is a right thing. Like I know a lot of people who follow it, and they're all lefties. They're all, save the planet lefties and whatnot. But they fell for it, and like I realize it's just I realize it's not real, but so I was thinking about, Trezell was following the Pizzagate stuff, so obviously he cares about kids. I mean, that's the only reason anybody I know follows that stuff, is because they care about kids. They care about kids getting used and abused by flesh-eating politicians, whatever the story is. But I'm just wondering how that plays into the local media, and how they've been going about broadcasting news about the children, because they seem to be anti-police.
Yeah, I don't watch a whole lot of real local media unless there's something like that going on, where they're the ones that are really following it. Like, I would have never heard of Justin Lum, and if he wasn't following the Vallow-Daybell case, because he's local news in Phoenix, right? Same with these people, Perla and Brian Young, Wang. I would have never heard of them either. But I did notice, I feel like they do have political agendas on their own. And I'm not I don't know like the politics of Bakersfield or California City. I have had people emailing me about a lot of the city council stuff about California City, which I haven't gone down that rabbit hole, because I want to just kind of stay focused on the fact that the boys are missing. But there are,
Right.
And I feel like news media does take a bias when it comes to that. Thank you, Diane, for the super donation. I really appreciate that so much. Thank you. So I do feel like the other day, law enforcement was very, very clear. And Bayan had an interview after that with them. Then that night, he went and found a retired lieutenant from Bakersfield, and he took an approach that the only reason they would be doing this is if they thought the kids were missing from Bakersfield originally. So, and I said, this is kind of biased. So I do see that local news media, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's their own, political lean because they're union, right? Because unions tend to be very liberal. Or if it keeps them in a job, really. So I really feel like there's a lot of politics involved with even simple things like, a community case like this or whatever, and more than. Thank you very much, Doug, for the donation. Much appreciated. Thank you so much. And Diane, thank you very much as well. I very much appreciate you guys. You just did one and then you did another. So yeah, I do feel like there's a lot of politics involved that we won't even really get because they're local politics based on those cities, right? If that makes any sense.
Yeah, well, it's a completely different thing over here. I mean, we've got right and we've got left, and we do have those extremes, but they're not as it's not as pronounced. It's not as popular. Like we've got people who sit in the middle, and I'm pretty sure I'm one of the ones who sit in the middle. There's a bit of left and a bit of right that I agree with, disagree with, whatever. But it's not as let's say passionate. It's not as passionate as it is in America.
Oh yeah. It's very passionate here. I mean, people go right out the door over it here, So
absolutely. And so that was the reason I was asking, like, just how much does that bias play into what the media is actually saying? And the other thing too is maybe the guys who are actually in California can maybe chuck a chat comment up about whether or not Chief Walker has cleaned it up or not, because it sounds like he's put a lot of effort towards I know there were some issues with the last police chief, and then he came in and he tried to clean up things a bit, and he also chucked a couple extra bodies on board or something along those lines.
Yeah, one of my subscribers lives in California City, and she emails me quite a bit, and she doesn't seem to be a big fan of him. She feels like he's part of I guess that city has had a lot of corruption and a lot of problems. So it's hard for me to really have the time to really explore California City and what they're all saying. But my opinion from what I was seeing out here was I thought he was doing a good job. But I'm seeing that the locals feel, at least one, feel a little bit differently on that respect as far as that goes. So I'm a little bit lost on it, to be honest.
So the reason I was asking is I just thought, maybe the handover to Bakersfield was a part of that. Like, because I saw somebody with a megaphone standing outside the cop station screaming something about one of the detectives had been to jail. I can't even remember what the story was. It was just ridiculous. But it was only 24 hours later, bing, it's gone to Bakersfield. And so that's why I was asking about that. Like, so if the media and the locals are saying the cops don't know what they're doing, then that would be a reason to hand it over to Bakersfield, particularly because that's where all the bio family live and where the adopter family moved from.
Right. Fun to Chris. This is Aussie Insider. She is one of the subscribers here at Left Undone, and she has a lot of really smart insight on things and how it works. And she has questions about our system over here because she lives in Australia. So that's who's on with me right now.
So I've sort of felt like it happened very, very quickly. The handover to Bakersfield happened very, very quickly after, I can't even remember who it was out there yelling with their megaphone. Do you remember who it was? Probably not worth worrying about who it was, but anyway, it's one of those auditing mobs or something.
Yes, it did happen. It was really kind of out of the blue. Something went on. Gosh, no. Something went on, and then boom, like the next day, they were like, "Okay, Bakersfield has this now." Everybody was like,
Yeah.
What? Yeah. And I also feel like,
And I feel
they needed to get people away from that house. Like, take the focus off of the West House. I mean, that neighborhood, that house, like, people are there. Look at what they're doing. And even, I mean, they literally show up every day and stand out in front of there and film and clearly try to trap people and make more drama. So I think that little city probably needed them to come in and sort of rescue them and take over the investigation, because they have the resources and they can look at already, they can go out in the field right now on a Saturday. They can knock doors quicker. It sounds like they just have more manpower. And if they're interviewing people in Bakersfield, it makes sense.
And the media has given them such a bad rap. So, like, the media is basically bringing up rumors, talking to the police chief about all the rumors. It was just so unprofessional to be talking about all the rumors on Facebook or social media. And they've given them such a bad rap. And I feel like they had to somehow, like, restore their community faith, I guess, in the police force.
Yeah, I don't know. The rumors, like yesterday, I was saying, I guarantee you now, I am going to still get people that are going to come on for the next month and say, I heard Wanda West was arrested, when that literally, it just went like wildfire, and that's why we were doing I do a happy hour on the first Friday of the month with my paying members. And we were in the middle of the happy hour when that happened. And I was like, well, I'm not going anywhere with it until we hear more. But, other channels literally came on right away, breaking news, Wanda West was arrested, yada, yada, yada. And then boom, it's like wildfire. You can't stop it, so.
And it was actually quite funny, because the people who started the rumor ended up being the ones who had to say, no, it was just a rumor.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we could say anything right now, like, hey, you know what? Guess what? They found them, and boom, it could go crazy. We could, but it's and when I see stuff like that, I think it's for clicks and views. I don't think it's legitimately about the boys. When somebody drops a rumor and wildfire goes, they're just about like, oh, stay tuned, we're coming right back. Oh, guess what? Wasn't true. Oh, well, but thanks for being here, 500 people dropping super chats.
Thank you.
Thank you for the super chat, super sticker.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
And that's why I think, like, now Bakersfield police have to chase up leads that are probably not real leads. They've got to do it now. They're in that position. They've taken it over. They have no choice. So no matter how trivial the tip is, they have to follow it now.
Exactly. They have to, right? So it takes up resources, it takes money, it takes time, and it takes away from what they really need to be doing. And little Miss Smithy, there is such a big group of people only allowing their narrative. If you think different, you're given abuse before being blocked. Plus, they have clickbait and drama to fuel their views. Yes, I literally went into LV United Stand chat one day, got blocked immediately, got slammed. Oh my gosh, Left Undone's here, And what I've not personally attacked anybody in this whole thing. I've not attacked another channel, nothing. All I've done was put out videos that show a different possibility than what all these other channels are saying, that the West did it. I said, well, let's think about this, right? Not allowed. Nope. That is not allowed. You are not allowed to think about, not allowed. No, I've been silenced. At first I was going to give up even following the case because they were trying to silence me. And I thought, well, that's stupid. I have every right to say what I want, just like they do, not personally
Exactly.
attacked,
No. And I don't feel that you have personally attacked anybody. I mean, even the sarcasm at the conversation going on in that CCTV footage, it's just humor. Like, people take it so seriously. It's just humor. It's not saying that anybody's, deceiving or lying. It's just humor. It's just whoever did it has a sense of humor.
Right. You can poke fun. Come hang out with me when my brothers are here. Oh, they'll poke fun at me for sure, and I poke fun at them. Oh, it's not mean spirited. So that's the thing. You can poke fun. You can have sarcasm as long as it's not mean spirited,
That's right. That's right. And it was very cleverly done, I thought, anyway. Like, I agreed with what Benny said about it.
Are canceling you, Catherine, is epidemic. It's not your fault. Oh yeah. They don't want what I have to say to be, part of the narrative. It's very well construed that their narrative is the way it should be. And anybody that wants to think or look at it in a different way should just be quiet and go away. Yeah.
Well, half the problem is they inserted themselves on the TV. Like, nobody would know who they were if they didn't put their silly mugs on TV. And I've said that to several of them several times. Like, don't complain because you're in the spotlight when you were the ones who put yourselves in the spotlight.
Right, exactly. I think it was Benny that was pointing out, if you watch those videos without listening to the audio, and if you had never heard the audio, your view is going to be a lot different than what you're being told you're seeing. And that is really kind of scary when you think about it. You are being told that Trezell is standing over here when he wasn't. You are being told that you see a dog running when we didn't, possibly didn't. The dog thing still. But you're being told that those boys never left that yard when you clearly can look at
throw wood over the fence. He never said over the fence.
Right. That's another one. Throwing wood over the fence. Those kids could have got hurt. He said throwing wood. He never said I'm throwing wood over the fence. He said I was bringing it in and out, throwing wood. Kind of a slang term, right? Yeah.
Right. And those videos made that point that he could have been throwing it into piles. And he certainly was in two different spots, bending over in two different spots. So sorting wood makes sense to me. I mean, we've got a wood pile here, and our wood pile is nowhere near our house. And we do take the shortest route from the wood pile to where the fireplace is so we don't drop shit everywhere on the carpet.
It makes sense. Yeah. Why wouldn't you? Yeah, exactly.
It's just a normal routine here. I didn't find any of that. I didn't find a problem with any of that. And people are making such a big deal out of it. This is something that we do on a daily basis here.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah, good grandma. My first thought was, if the boys disappeared from that backyard, it had to be with someone they knew. Toddlers run quietly towards a familiar person. Yeah, I've said that from the beginning too. They could be lured by someone they knew. I've gotten slack for this, but the original foster mom has been on my radar because of the way she hid her face from the camera. I think I put that in one of my very first videos. And the fact that Bio Mom was saying when they were with her, they were happy, they knew, blah, blah, blah. So, and she just wouldn't look at the camera. So I thought that made sense. And the other thing is, you got to remember, these kids have been in foster care. They deal with social workers their whole life that come and go and visit. They're probably really used to strangers too, or people they see randomly. And somebody's standing out there going, hey, it's me. Come here. I got a treat for you. Boom, gone, Oh, that's, so-and-so. I know they're little, but They have brains like sponges, those little kids. They'll remember, you know.
Right. And you were spot on with that first video that you did on that topic of it had to be someone that they knew.
I feel like that's who would have been able to lure them, you know, if they were lured out of the gate. Let's see. Watchmen
Could have been any number.
Called him out on it on tape. Good, Dick Tracy. Right? Don't be intimidated by them. I mean, you know, they are striking people for using that video, even though there's a disclaimer in their video that says you can use it. But they are, everybody that pisses them off, they're giving them a copyright strike on it.
Did you get any strikes?
No. I'm flying under the radar.
Yes, so far.
But I also put in there, like, here is him saying, go ahead and use any part of this video. It doesn't say, go ahead and use this video if you agree with me. It doesn't say, go ahead and use this video if you want to look at a different point of view. Don't do it. It just says, you're welcome to use this video. He says it. So I don't really know how that he can be striking people when he said that. But again, it just adds drama. Just adds drama.
Yes. Yes, it does. So just to get one of the boys to reply, Benny or Doug, have either of you got copyright strikes for that?
Yeah, we'll wait and see. The statistics say that is what is most probable to familial abduction. Right. And that was I think that was my first video that I put out, or one of the first ones. No, maybe like the second or third. I don't know. But anyways, where we were talking about the statistics, odds are, you know, it's somebody that knows those children if this was an abduction.
Right. It's even on the Office Attorney General website. It's actually the next link over from the boys actually being listed as missing. The next link next to that is I'm sure I sent you that link, a page of familial and abductions.
Oh no, I mean, I probably have it, but I didn't notice that. Interesting. Wow, I'll have to look at that. And they only strike people who don't reiterate their narrative. Exactly, that's the thing. That if you agree with me. Hi, Midnight Noon. Thank you for the super sticker. Appreciate that very much. Thank you. Dee Dee.
I think he put out another thing saying if you use it, it's got to be my narrative or something like that. I thought that was a bit strange.
I think there was a post in his community tab or something like that. Yeah, that basically, you know, he's going to strike. I don't know. You know, I half pay attention. I'm like, okay, stalker dude, whatever. I'm like, I'm just joking. Joke. I got a strike from NB after I striked him for showing my pic and giving out my government name. Well, yeah, that's retaliation, right? That sucks. Jerk. Right? I mean, come on.
Yeah, there's a lot of retaliation going on.
Oh, yeah. Justice Jamie, thank you for the super sticker. You guys are so sweet today. Thank you so much. A lot of people praise AV Watchman for his videos and boots on the ground approach. At first, I thought it was great. Then he seemed to turn vigilante, and I don't think that helps anyone. Right. It doesn't help anyone. Exactly. Especially in true crime. I mean, you know, you can have a platform if there's things you want to, like, you know, face up to law enforcement about, like what you disagree with, stuff like that. But as far as being, you know, turning the narrative towards vigilantism when you're really saying that you're here for the kids, it messes with the whole idea that you're really here with the kids. Like, being here for the kids.
That whole
different.
That whole vigilante stuff, that wouldn't go down here in Australia. That's illegal. Everything that they're doing, even standing outside the grandparents' house, all that sort of stuff, it's totally illegal here in Australia. Like, I'm sort of glad that we have the laws that we have. Sometimes it's seems a little too hectic, but then there's other times you look at it and you think, well, you sort of understand why we have that now. Some things do sort of make sense, but America, like, whilst everyone's complaining about the cops, you don't have half the restrictions that we have here.
Right. Yeah. Well, and if you're in California is kind of a free for all. I'm a California resident, but I'm very unhappy with the way that our government has turned criminals into being able to just have a free for all here. You can rob somebody up to what, $999 or something like that, and nothing happens, right? You literally can do that here. It's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but it's okay. You're not going to get in trouble. My brother-in-law is a police officer, and he's just like, when everybody was breaking into those Targets and the cops were just watching and stuff during when they shut everything down at one point. And I'm like, what are they doing? And my sister was like, this is what my husband has to deal with on a daily basis as a police officer in California. Like, we don't have the laws that we used to have, and criminals can go to a certain extent and break the law. Good. Come on, go. Yeah, here you go. But, how much was that TV you sold? Oh, $998. Okay, well, by then you can have it. It's just insane.
It's totally nuts. We had BLM protests here, all over Australia, and they ended up being rather big. And but it's organized. They're all organized protests. We don't have spontaneous, everyone just loses their shit and starts breaking things. We don't have that. It's far more civilized. And but yeah, we had in some places, 20 or 30,000 people out on the streets. And it was very civilized. It stayed civilized. And the thing that I found funny about it was, towards the end, the second lot of protests, it was the left and the right came together on exactly the same topic. It was quite funny because they were out together. They didn't realize they were out together, but they actually were out together. It was pretty funny how it ended up. But that's because there's not that that passion involved in the separateness of the two ideologies.
Right. And good grandma, thank you for the donation. She said she mentioned bio-family abduction early on and was taken down about 3 pegs, backed off, felt threatened for that thought. Oh yeah, exactly. That you're not supposed to have that thought. They'll come in droves and tell you, personally attack you and hope you shut up. They try to silence you. Tracy, well, there's like 88 cases of COVID in Australia because people respect the rules. Right? And here we got these two schools of thought where they're telling us what to do and we're not going to listen, or all these vaccines are going to kill you, or it's a government man-made thing to shorten your life. I mean, we just got so many all over the map different thoughts, but everybody is
on that. It's not really because everybody respects the rules. We have the same division. We have the same thing that Kathy was just saying. We still got the left and the rights who believe in libertarianism and push that really hard, that they should have the freedom to choose. And we've still got the lefts, and I'll tell you why it's similar is because we've got the same news crew who runs 70% or 75% of Australian media, which is Murdoch News. So whatever Murdoch's doing in your country, he's also doing here in our country. He's also doing it over in the UK. So when you have that sort of far right sort of response to the COVID stuff, that's all coming from Murdoch media. So yeah, we do have it here. And I think the reason we've only got so few cases is not necessarily because everyone respects the rules, it's because the police are fully enforcing it, like fully.
Oh, are they? Okay. They are.
Like you can't even, I couldn't get from one state to another state without having, I had to sit in a queue for 45 minutes, people zooming past and queue jumping. I had to sit in this queue in my car for 45 minutes and just creep along slowly, and the cops have got to check your border pass. I mean, this is real, like, World War One type stuff, I guess, or two. Which one was it? World War One. But yeah, so we do have that division over the COVID stuff. There certainly is that division, but I certainly understood it and played by the rules.
Right. Well, like my girlfriend and I were last May, we canceled our trip to Kauai. We were going to go to Kauai, but we canceled because we had to because of COVID. And now we just booked a trip to go to Hawaii. We're just going to go to Oahu, but all the rules from different states, we were looking at where we could travel to. There's some places you could travel to in the world and they don't even care about COVID, right? We were like, I wanted to go to Costa Rica, but COVID is really high there, but you don't have to be tested to go in. There are states in the US where I can get on a plane and fly there and nobody cares, like Florida. But then there's Hawaii where they want you to be quarantined for a specific period of time if you come in or have a COVID test to test negative. So all of our states have different rules and different ways that they're doing things, shutting down or just a free fall. I mean, it's been really interesting to see the difference, between state to state and if you can go there or not. California says we're on lockdown, but you can still pretty much go everywhere. The indoor restaurants were closed. Basically, that was the biggest thing I noticed was the indoor restaurants. You'd have to go on a, patio restaurant for a while, but I don't even know what we've opened up at this point. I'm still like, what? So good, Grandma. Thank you again. Do you think Sydney West case crossed over the boys case because of their last names?
Which is the Sydney West case?
There's a person named Sydney West. I don't even know. I don't know what you're referring to. Do you? I see.
I don't either. Sydney West is what Good Grandma wrote.
Yeah. Crossed over the boys case because of their last names.
You're going to have to give us more info, Good Grandma.
We're a little lost on that one with my friend. Nancy, I'm enjoying your guests. Two very intelligent ladies dealing with facts matters. Thank you very much. Yes, she has been a really good person to bounce things off of and ask her what she thinks and stuff all along. Just met her via the channel over this case, but she's really smart and I picked her brain a little bit, kind of a lot.
Well, we make a good team sometimes.
I agree completely. I do. She disappeared from the Bay Area. I don't know that case, Good Grandma. How, as a child? Okay, Connie. It's a missing person case of an adult female in California. Oh, I don't even know. I was thinking the other day, I was like, don't any more big cases show up right now because I know the Letitia Stout case is going to get kind of crazy with her court stuff. I know the Vallow-Daybell case is going to get really crazy. And then we got this. So I'm like, between work and trying to keep up with the cases, I'm spinning.
It's going to come and go in waves, Kathy. Hold on to your hat. We've got one here in Australia that started when I was, I think, 10 years old, I guess, or even younger, I guess. And it was the
I'm just kidding.
Azaria Chamberlain case, and she ended up doing, I think, 20 years in jail, and it was because of the media. The media just painted her as, oh, she doesn't care, she didn't show emotion, she wasn't this, she wasn't that, so she had to be guilty. And then this whole other side came into it where Australian tourism got, they felt that if they put out that dingoes were eating babies, that was going to kill off the tourism in Central Australia. So they got involved and just fixed the case against her, basically. So she had the media against her, she had the government against her. she had her lawyers were just like up against everything. And so anyway, she got out of jail and everyone was like, okay, she's still guilty. And then once she was once she was out of jail, all the evidence came to light. Like there was, I think you call it Brady violations over there, but all the evidence that they had that showed she was innocent was withheld. And that was how she got out of jail. And people are still saying, oh, no, she was guilty. But that once she was out of jail, her and her husband went to the, can't remember which court you call it, and had the child Azaria Chamber declared dead by a dingo attack. And so that's on record now that's the final verdict. I think you call it, oh, I can't remember the name of the court for some reason. My brain just went, but yeah. So now it's on record. She didn't kill the child. There was all this evidence that showed she was innocent. None of it ever got produced in court. She ended up spending 20 years in jail. She's still being accused of being guilty because, and it's the same thing with this West case, because she didn't show emotion, because she was stoic when they interviewed her. But that was just her person. She still is today. She's still a stoic, even though she was sitting in that courtroom going through that terrible ordeal of having the child declared dead by a dingo attack. She was still stoic then. She came out and she faced the media stoically. She hasn't changed anything. And so people still think she's guilty to this day.
Just based on that. Wow.
But it just came up again because the declaring the child dead by a dingo attack was very important to the family. So that all just happened, I think, like in the last 12 or 18 months. I can't remember, like just recently.
Wow. Yeah. So you just don't know. I mean, that's why it's really scary. You know, the death penalty is kind of a scary thing because that can happen to people and they wind up dead and then later on find out that they didn't, you know, unless somebody completely confesses.
Absolutely.
You know, that's what's so scary about the death penalty, you know.
Absolutely. So. I think it's just a little bit tragic that you still have the death penalty, and I think it's even doubly tragic that your country your leaders will point at other countries and go, but they still got the death penalty.
Well, here's my perspective on the death penalty. I think we should have it because I think it's a really good negotiating tool for somebody to go, okay, how about if you go ahead, if you really did this, we can give you life instead of the death penalty. But if you go, you might have to go in front of a jury and they may give you the death penalty. Do you know what I mean? Like, I almost feel like it's not a deterrent, but it's also a negotiating tool for people that really don't want to be put to death that were guilty. But then again, then you look at the other side of it and you're like, how many people have been put to death that were innocent? So it's definitely a big ethical dilemma. It's a huge dilemma, you know? So I don't know. I go back and forth on that one.
It was one of the topics we had to study with international law about the why it's in international law. Basically, we just had to study a lot of countries that have the death penalty and don't have the death penalty, and interestingly enough, America wasn't one of those countries.
Oh, really? Huh.
Huh.
Good grandma. Sydney West was taking a jog over the Golden Gate Bridge. The fog was so bad, and thank you for the donation, good grandma. The fog was so bad she flat disappeared even though there were cameras. Huh. That's interesting.
It is.
I don't know that case. So she was jogging on the Golden Gate Bridge, literally never came out the other side. So somebody must have abducted her into a car in the fog, right?
Excuse my ignorance, but where's the Golden Gate Bridge?
In San Francisco.
Okay.
It is the Golden Gate Bridge is like a national landmark, really? Is that what you call it? What's that we call it? Golden, well, I'll show you a picture.
I actually know what I just didn't know where it was for some reason.
Oh, you didn't know where it was?
A little.
Yeah, it's in San Francisco.
Yeah, fair enough.
We've got. I think
we've got one here.
You can see it coming, flying into San Francisco Airport. I always try to take a picture of it from the sky when I fly into San Francisco, because if you go north or south from here, Southern California to like Washington or Oregon, you wind up changing planes in San Francisco a lot. So I have some good aerial pictures from San Francisco of the Golden Gate Bridge. Let's see. Let's see what anybody else has anything before we wrap up. Did anybody get any more news out of Bakersfield? Anything found? Anything before we end? The boys were not found. Okay. I got a message. Watching your feed, the police and all agencies left the field in Bakersfield. The search is over. The boys were not found.
So another false lead. Like I said, they've got to dance to the tune now because they've handed it over. They have no choice. They have to dance to any tune anyone throws at them, and it's just going to be such a huge waste of resources.
Who's William Terrell?
Well, that's an interesting story, that one, because it's very similar to this one. So there's an adoptive family, and grandma was looking after William, and she went inside to make a cup of tea or something. I don't really remember what it was she went inside for. When she came back out, he was gone. And it's quite a few years old now, so I think he'd be in his teens now. But yes, he vanished, and without a trace, absolutely without a trace. Now the police sort of messed that case up because they went after a neighbour, and they wasted all their time focusing on this neighbour. So like it's a similar thing that's going on here with these boys. The police focused on this neighbour so much, they took all their focus away from everything else, and the trail went cold. They had no trail to follow. And you see that happen there with the California police. They had to answer all these rumours that Bay and Wang kept throwing at them, and they had to keep going back to the house and going back to the house, and the trail went cold. If they had been on the trail that we have pointed out, or that you have pointed out, is probably the right trail. If they'd have been on that from the start, the trail might not have gone cold. But that's basically what happened with the William Tyrrell case.
Oh, wow. Interesting that it's so similar. Wow.
Absolutely. And nobody here is hanging that grandma because she went inside. Nobody here is saying anything bad about grandma because she went inside to make a cup of tea. Nobody. I've not heard anyone even mention it once. It just doesn't make sense to me that everyone's up their asses for their kids playing in their own backyard. That's just not even a thing here in Australia.
It's not a thing here either. My kids played in the backyard all the time when they were little, and my grandson plays in his backyard. My daughter's in the house right there watching, but it's completely fenced in yard with big, tall, 6-foot fences. And Trezell did have that gate open, so that's kind of a little obviously irresponsible, but it's not the end of the world that you're right there and you went inside for a minute, it happens. So nobody's going to think there's going to be an abductor right there within a minute to take your kids. So yeah, but I mean, I lost my kids so many times. You guys would probably, if one of them would have been kidnapped, I would have been shot by these people by now. I mean, I have stories of like, I raised 4 kids. We were at baseball field and I'm watching the one kid play, and then the little one is running around over here with another kid. Next thing I look, the other kid's there and my kid's gone, and then I'm like, where'd Michael go? You know, and I tell my husband, and he's coaching the game, and he's all like, I can't play Michael. He's shaking like, I'm sorry, I can't leave the field right now. You know, I mean, it's normal parenting when a kid goes and hides behind a bleacher or runs down the way a little bit. So for them to be like so attacking because he went inside for a minute is overkill, in my opinion.
Right, and that's what made me suspicious of the Bio family, because that was the first thing they were throwing out there. They were doing it before the interview. They'd spent days throwing shit at the house and yelling at the house, and that's what they were like. How dare you leave the kids for 1 fucking minute? Oh, sorry, 1 minute.
Right.
F-bomb warning.
Jenny says, could you imagine YouTube comments if they were around in the 70s and 80s? Most of us ran around the neighborhood without supervision for hours on end. My mom would literally be like, go outside and play, come back when the street lights come on. And it might be like after lunch. She's like, we would go. I remember we lived in Pennsylvania. Down our street was a forest, like the woods. We'd play in the woods. We'd play in the creek. We'd come back muddy with poison ivy all over our bodies. And nobody came to look for us. Like,
Right.
So yeah, it's a different world.
To climb up this mountain, and if mum ever knew that we climbed up this mountain, she probably would have come after us. But we used to climb up this mountain and we'd be gone for half the day, because that's how long it took to climb. And it was a climb. And I mean, we should have had, climbing gear on to climb. We used to do it every day. We used to go right up to the top and look out over the, so it's in Alice Springs in Central Australia. It's the only hill in the whole desert, basically. And so it looks out over the entire city and out into the Olgas out in the distance. But it's a beautiful sight. And we hung out there for hours at a time. We would be gone half the day.
Yeah. Go have fun, run around, be a kid. It was fun. It was nice, I'm sure. Yeah. Watch out for rattlesnakes.
No rattlesnakes, but taipans.
What's that?
Taipan. It's a type of brown snake, and they're actually really aggressive. They'll actually chase you across the paddock. Well, they don't hang out in paddocks. They hang out in rocks, but that's Taipan country, like up in the rocks where we were climbing.
Oh my gosh.
And King Brown country. But yeah, like my parents never worried about that stuff. And there's no court in Australia is going to say, well, you can't have your kids because you let them, go play in your own yard. Like, heck.
Yeah, we didn't have my mom, like now you can text your kid and say, where are you? Are you still at, so-and-so's house or what? No, never know. Like we had no way for you to find us. I remember we lost our cat one time. It was the same kind of thing. We had to go hunt through the woods for my cat one time, and some neighbors through the other side of the woods had the cat. We're like, give me a cat back. We were gone for hours looking for that cat. My mom didn't help us.
I was having a good laugh at Midnight Neen's comment.
Yeah, my mom probably would have been relieved if we came up missing. Go play. Get out of here.
Right. And my mum's thing was get outside, because we lived in a caravan for most of our lives, a very small van, and I think it was only 27 feet long. So, we were all underfoot. So it was 24 hours a day. Get outside and play. Go outside and play.
Yeah, right. Go play. DC Babs. I'm an 80s kid. My mom owned a convenience store. Kids brought in notes to allow her to sell cigarettes for their parents. Today she'd be jailed. Oh my gosh, totally. Big difference then. Do you have a note from your mother for the cigarettes?
I remember buying cigarettes for my mum at the store. Can't do it anymore.
Yep. Oh, I was raised between 65 and 70s, and I begged to get outside. We played a hide and seek in the early evening. You had to get back to the porch without getting caught by the seeker. Yep. running around. We played. We'd go and back east, the lawns are all open. They're not cut. Like in California, everything has fences. Like my kids were raised, every yard had fence, block wall fence, right? But back east, you could run down the backyard of 16 neighbors, to run and play, tag and hide and go seek and all that stuff. Just kids, And now
It was
kids get in trouble
like
for
that here.
ding dong ditch, They'll get a ticket for that and get in trouble. So, but we used to ding dong ditch and everything. They were like, oh, just the kids, So it's a different world. It's definitely a different world. Yeah, we were free range kids. There you go.
It's still the same out in the countryside here. Like kids just go off and do their thing. Like it's different in the cities, and so I kind of get city folk saying these things, like especially in America because the cities are much bigger over there. So I do get that, but California City isn't one of those cities, and certainly not where the West House.
But I don't know. I've not looked at their actual crime statistics there, but I don't think it's really considered a safe, like I raised my kids in Huntington Beach. And they were allowed to ride their bike and play out front and play in the street and all that stuff without me being out there. But my oldest is 31, my youngest is 22. So it's just a little bit different now. I guess it'll be interesting to see my grandkids because they're 6 months and 3 years old, how their life is as far as being able to play with neighbors and friends and all that goes, because it's definitely different, way different than me, way different than when I raised my kids. So, all right. So what time is it? 12:46. We probably should end my live stream. I go back and forth on the live streams because I was like, I was going to make it short today, but there's a lot to talk about. But a lot of people are like, they're too long. We can't watch it that long. And then I'm like, well, then don't watch it that long. Like watch what you want. You're not really going to miss anything because the way I do my live streams are more of a interactive, right? So
that's what the stop button's for.
Right. That's what the stop button's for. So thank you, Asi, for being here, and everyone in the chat. Thank you for all of you who have donated in the super chat. I really appreciate you all. And my members, if you're a member, tomorrow night we are going to watch in the Discord channel. If you're a paying member, we're going to start watching the Cecil Hotel. So that should be fun. We got to talk about that one because that's an interesting case.
Yeah.
Right.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, my membership is I just went down to one level. It's $1.99 a month. And it basically, the reason why I just keep it the Discord for members only is because we got so many trolls and stuff in there when it was open to everybody. And we like to watch like shows. We've been watching the morning show. We watched the 48 Hours with the Kay Woodcock, that one that they did, and stuff like that. So and try to keep out the riffraff by charging $1.99 a month. And it's been nice. We have a nice group of people. So anybody that wants to join become a member of the channel, that's one of the perks, is to be able to be in the Discord and watch movies with us on Sunday nights, shows. So tomorrow night, Cecil Hotel and episode 8 of the morning show. All right.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Thank you, Aussie. I look forward to talking to you some more for sure, and appreciate all your help. All right.
All right. Bye.
I'm good. Bye. Thanks so much. All right, everybody. I am going to go do some things for Saturday. And again, Carrie and I are working on we're going to record that today. I'm going to do it pre-recorded because we're going to put a lot of links and tips and stuff. And we're going to work on the Dior Coons case because I want to do an episode on that. And Carrie is one of my subscribers that has done a lot of work on the Dior Coons case. So we're going to get that put up. And before you leave, yes, please hit the thumbs up button. I really appreciate that if you do. And thank you guys all for being here. I'm so happy to see you. And I will see you soon. And members, I will see you tomorrow night. All right. Take care. Bye. Have a great day. And anybody that knows anything new, feel free to get in Discord if you're a member and let me know what's going on. Okay. right. Bye, everyone.